There have been some very, very interesting developments that have come in from the state of Telangana, with the political landscape heating up with multiple developments shaking the BRS party, the party in opposition, the primary opposition party in Telangana. The ongoing family feud within BRS continues to deepen. There's always been rumblings about it. Now it's out in the open as you have a son and daughter of KCR, KTR and Kavitha, essentially being pitted against each other. It's not the first time we've seen that in politics. But as a result of that, the decision was taken by Father KCR to suspend Kavitha from the party. That was an announcement that was made yesterday. And today, she's now gone ahead and resigned as member of the Legislative Council, stepping down after being expelled from the BRS for anti-party activities. That was the reason given by the BRS. Now, it's not really surprising for anyone who's tracked really political developments in the BRS. Many would have said this was coming, that there were rumblings that suggested that Kavitha wasn't on the best footing within the party and within the family itself. Now, the reason, however, that the suspension has happened now is because Kavitha had lashed out against her cousin, senior BRS leader T. Harish Rao, claiming he and Revamp Reddy had conspired to target her family, and that's why the Kaleshwaram irrigation project scam had in fact leveled allegations also against her father, KCR. Let's get you in fact a sense of all the reactions that have come in so far.
आज चंद लोग बीआरएस पार्टी में हमारे आसपास पिताजी के इर्द गिर्द थोड़े लोग जिनके जो वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट है, जिनको अपनी ही फायदा की जो सोच है, ऐसे लोग बीआरएस पार्टी में उनका लीड रोल हो गया है और उनके वजह से उन्होंने मेरे पिताजी के ऊपर, मैं ऐसा मानती हूँ, दबाव बना के मुझे पार्टी से निकालने का काम किया है। लेकिन मैं बीआरएस पार्टी से, हमारे पिताजी से यही रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ कि आपके इर्द गिर्द जो लोग जमा हुए हैं, उनकी नीयत के बारे में आप सोचिए। क्या वो पार्टी के लिए काम आएंगे? आप इसके ऊपर गौर कीजिए। हमारे परिवार को तोड़ने का काम उन्होंने आज किया है। बीआरएस पार्टी के परिवार को तोड़ने का काम आज उन्होंने किया है। और ये किसके फायदे के लिए उन्होंने किया है? तेलंगाना के आवाम के फायदा के लिए उन्होंने नहीं किया है, उनके खुद के फायदा के लिए किया है। तो मैं मेरे पिताजी से, बीआरएस पार्टी से यही रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहूंगी कि ऐसे लोगों को पहचानिए, उनकी असली रूप आप पहचानिए और उनके ऊपर जो भी एक्शन हो सकता है वो लीजिए।
ఒకప్పుడు ఏ పార్టీని బతకనియేమో, ఎవరు రాజకీయం కాదు కదా, నిద్రలో కూడా శాసనసభ్యులు అవుతామన్న ఆలోచన చెయ్యొద్దు అని ఆనాడు అక్రమ కేసులు పెట్టి ఎందరిని ఎంతమందిని జైలుకు పంపించారు. ఇవాళ వాళ్ళే తన్నుకొని చేస్తున్నారు. ఒకరు కడుపులో కత్తులు పెట్టుకొని కౌగిలించుకుంటున్నారు. ఎవరు అక్కర్లేదు వాళ్ళని వాళ్ళే పొడుచుకుంటున్నారు. విపరీతమైన అవినీతి సొమ్ము వచ్చిన తర్వాత సొమ్ముల పంపకాలలో కుటుంబ పంచాయతీలు ఇవాళ కుటుంబంలోనే ఒకరు సహించుకోలేని పరిస్థితి. ఒకరి మీద ఒకరు యాసిడ్ దాడులు చేసుకోవాలని ఒకరిని ఇంకొకరు నవ్వుతూనే కడుపులో కత్తులు పెట్టుకొని కౌగిలించుకునే పరిస్థితులు ఈ రాష్ట్రంలో దాపురించినాయి. పాపం ఊరికే పోదు. పెద్దలు చెప్పిండ్రు, చేసుకున్న వాడికి చేసుకున్నంత మహానుభావ అని చెప్పిండ్రు. చేసిన పాపాలు ఎక్కడికి పోవు, ఖచ్చితంగా ఆ పాపాలు వెంటాడుతూనే ఉంటాయి. వాళ్ళు అనుభవించి తీరాల్సిందే. ఆయన వెనకాల ఈయన ఉన్నాడని, ఈయన వెనకాల ఆయన ఉన్నాడని నేను ఒక మాట చెప్పదలుచుకున్నాను. అంత చెత్తగాళ్ళ వెనకాల నేనెందుకు ఉంటానయా?
BRS politics, it has exposed their corruption and their corrupt family, their corrupt leaders. They have in fact amassed the wealth, and now while distribution of the wealth, they amassed this illegal wealth. This parliament is arrested.
Okay, let me bring in Abdul Bashir, who's been tracking all the updates on this story. Abdul, I started off this broadcast by saying that perhaps this was, in a sense, coming, because there was a lot of talk about, issues within the BRS first family. But what next are we really going to be seeing for Kavitha? Look, clearly at this point, she's been suspended from the BRS. Is there still a point or a chance of reconciliation? What's led to KCR taking this kind of a drastic decision against his own daughter?
Well, as you mentioned, Akshita, Kavitha has been mentioning that she has been sidelined in the party, and this is not the first time. Earlier also, she was not vocal, but she had been projecting that she is being sidelined. And when the suspension letter had come yesterday, she had mentioned that the party leader, KCR Garu, did not even call her to ask her what is her side, what is her say on this particular issue that is going. And now K. Kavitha has clearly slammed people around the former Chief Minister and BRS President KCR that Harish Rao and Santosh is responsible for
Okay.
this particular step or situation that has been created. Now, well, K. Kavitha on one side has told us, she's given a resignation letter from the party membership and also her membership to the Legislative Council, but she has asked her father and brother to understand the situation and be careful with these people around him. Now,
Okay.
apart from this, what we are understanding is that there is a high possibility that K. Kavitha will also float a new party, or else her Telangana Jagrati organization that she is heading, she will be leading that organization. But a
No, but
clear
Abdul, is this
stance
a
from
point
her
of no
or
return? Politically, yes, there's clearly a breakdown in ties between K. Kavitha, her father, and her brother. But as far as family ties go, what exactly has led to, it reaching a point where KCR has taken this decision?
well, the whole scenario had come, burst out when Kaleshwaram issue or Kaleshwaram case was brought in the assembly, arguments were made, and then a CBI inquiry is a point where the whole patience of K. Kavitha had burst out, is what she's saying. She's saying for the wrongdoings of others, why is KCR a Bapu of Telangana being projected in bad light, is what she's mentioned. Now, her say is that KCR is not responsible, but if it is somebody who is responsible, it would be the then irrigation
So the
minister, Harish
allegation
Rao and Santosh.
The allegation then is that
Santosh
there was
Kumar.
corruption. There was corruption within the BRS. So that by itself leads to essentially you giving an opportunity to the likes of the Congress in Telangana to attack the BRS. Maybe that's what triggered it. Maybe there was a lot of deep-rooted issues that have now emerged to the fore. Thank you, Abdul, for getting us those details. But mind you, K. Kavitha was targeting her cousin, Harish Rao, not her brother, KTR. And yet, she's been suspended from the party. It's not the first time we've seen this kind of familial divides over politics. Unfortunately, it's something we see far too often in politics, where ties by blood don't matter when it comes to politics. Let's talk about that and multiple instances. The latest, of course, now is what we're seeing between KTR and K. Kavitha, the siblings in the BRS. Now, clearly at this point, KCR has suspended Kavitha from the party. His own daughter, he suspended her from the party because the message is very clear. She's crossed a Lakshman Rekha, and the idea is that she went ahead and indulged in anti-party activities. Not the first time, like I said, because we've seen this with Chandrababu Naidu and NTR. What am I referring to? Well, essentially, Naidu had staged a coup against his father-in-law. This was, of course, many decades ago, but it was a very telling political chapter in Andhra's history. Even now, in the YSRCP in Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy and his sister, YS Sharmila, also fighting it out. Fallout over personal differences that's led to political differences as well. So YS Sharmila is part of the Andhra Congress and Jagan Mohan Reddy with the YSRCP. YS Sharmila has always alleged that her brother never let her be a part of politics, which is why she took that route. So it's not a new story by any measure in South politics, particularly in the Telugu states. Let me bring in on this broadcast Kalyani Shankar, political analyst. We'll also have with us Kingsrup Nag in just a bit. Kalyani Shankar, thank you very much for your time. What do you make of this development? From the beginning of this broadcast, I've been saying, ma'am, that this was in a sense a long time coming. Do you think so too? That, there were differences clearly in the first family of the BRS?
Well, you see, when KCR launched his party, at that time he didn't have, it was Telangana. Now he changed it to Bharat. So
Yeah.
he had a grand idea of becoming the prime minister, and then keeping the daughter with him in Delhi as an MP, and then the son KTR, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. So that was his grand plan, but somehow it didn't work out. So then later on, he thought that he would send Kavitha to Delhi as an MP. That also didn't work out. Then KTR has been with him all the time. He's been grooming him. He was with all the decisions he's taken. And Harsh also is with KCR. And the problem now is that they have reached a stage where that they cannot hold on anymore. The siblings are not together, then the nephews are not together. They have to find some way of finding a solution to this. So it was coming anyway it was coming, and it came just like that at this time when it is making news, national news. Otherwise, today it wouldn't have got such a big show. Um, I have a feeling that some people are who are against KCR might help Kavitha. So she's not alone in all these things. So it could be Congress, it could be BJP, it could be anybody else, but then the anti-KCR forces might come together. As it is Telangana, I mean, BRS is not much in Telangana. Now BJP has taken a second position there.
No, but what do you think, Kalyani Shankar? At this point, this decision has been taken by KCR, and I'm sure it was a very tough one as a father to choose between both his children, because that's essentially the messaging here, that he's chosen KTR over Kavitha. But politically speaking, clearly at this point, the choice seemed clear here, because the messaging always was that KTR is the political successor.
But you see, KCR is ailing. He's not seen in public also. And he's not taking any decisions also now. So when that is the time that he has to decide whether the daughter or the son who could survive political pressure. So he must have, in his intelligence, he must have thought that KTR is a better bet. So he had decided on KCR.
Okay, interesting. And what do you also think of what Kavitha has as far as her options go now going forward? Do you think that in all likelihood she's going to be launching her own political outfit, maybe joining hands with the BJP or the Congress in the state? Do you see that as a probability, or do you think that it hasn't reached a point where she can't get back into the BRS?
Well, you have just said it. You see, Kavitha has lost her political, clout now, because when she was in BRS, she was somebody there. Now she's out. Like Sharmila in the neighboring district had formed her own party, but saw that she couldn't survive, so she joined Congress. So Kavitha also might join a new party, and then later on she might join either or any of these parties. As I said earlier, anti-KCR forces might come to help her, and she as a politician has no more leeway than anybody else.
My final question to you, ma'am, is also about women in politics. Very often, when it comes to political successes, and there's a man and woman pitted against each other, clearly there's a favorite there, which is the man. And there are multiple instances of that. If I were to look at Tamil Nadu, it was a similar formula that you referred to of state with the son, the daughter in Delhi. Similar formula that was attempted in Telangana. But is it a lot more harder for the women, for the daughters, to kind of make their impact?
Well, it is difficult to say why it happens, but this is a country where the families prefer the son to the daughter. That's what is happening in Congress party also. Why is Priyanka not favored first, and now only she's been brought in? So this is normally part of Indian psyche, that the son gets the preference, not the daughter. And the daughters, of course, initially they want to give them both. They give them the opportunity, they come to power, and when they come to power, they give them opportunities. But then once they are able to prove it, then only they can think of the next step. So in this case, KTR had been with KCR all the time. So there is no way Kavitha can claim, and all of them wanted to become the party president. Now, that is another problem. You see, Kavitha also wants to become the party president now. So this is positioning for power is what is a real thing. This is a family feud, nothing but family feud. And this will go on for some time, drama in public. Everybody will watch the dirty linen in public. And after some time, they will come together. They will just disappear sometimes, or they may survive. But it's
impact,
only
clearly, from what you're telling us, ma'am, impact not much, but at the end of the day, it does give leeway for the Congress to go ahead and attack the BRS, saying, look at what's happening. They don't have, things in order, and that's why you're seeing this very public feud. We've already heard that from the Telangana Chief Minister, Revamp Reddy, who's reacted, mocking what's happening in the BRS First Family, as they're called. Thank you very much, Kalyani Shankar, for joining us with your analysis and your perspective on what's playing out right now within the BRS in Telangana. Let's move on and talk about Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin speaking out on that entire controversy that he triggered over Sanatana Dharma when he referred to it as dengue, compared it to malaria. All of that he's referred to now, saying that his words were twisted as part of a disinformation campaign against him. Udhayanidhi Stalin, remember, had never apologized for that particular remark, which had set off a nationwide storm. Today, speaking on it, he claims that all of it was just misinformation, that his words were twisted, that fake news was spread, so much so that a price was put on his head as well, referring to the fact that there were even bounties that were offered for action against Udhayanidhi Stalin. Remember the comment that he'd made, where 3 years ago he'd compared Sanatana Dharma to malaria, to dengue. And that had, of course, triggered this massive, massive storm. Let's get you a sense of exactly what Udhayanidhi Stalin has had to say now.
எனக்கே இந்த பிரச்சனை நடந்துச்சு. ஒரு 3 வருடங்களுக்கு முன்பு நான் ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சியில் கலந்துக்கிட்டேன். அந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் நான் பேசினது, பிறப்பால யாரும் உயர்ந்தவர் தாழ்ந்தவர் கிடையாது, பிறப்பால ஏற்றத்தாழ்வு கிடையாது, அப்படி ஒன்று இருந்துச்சுன்னா அதை ஒழிச்சு கட்டணும் அப்படின்னு பேசினேன். ஆனா அதையும் திரிச்சு நான் ஒரு இனப்படுகொலையை தூண்டி விட்டுட்டேன், ஒரு ஜெனோசைடை கிளப்பி விட்டுட்டேன் அப்படின்னு என் மேலேயே பொய் செய்தி பரப்புனாங்க. என்னுடைய பேச்சை திரிச்சு நான் சொல்லாத விஷயத்த சொன்னேன்னு ஒரு கும்பல் நாடு முழுக்க அந்த வதந்தியை பரப்புச்சு. அதுக்காக என்னுடைய தலையை சீவி கொண்டு வந்தா ஒரு சாமியார் 10 லட்சம் தரேன் அப்படின்னாரு. இன்னொரு சாமியார் அதுக்கு போட்டி போட்டுட்டு உதயநிதி தலையை சீவி கொண்டு வந்தா நான் 10 லட்சம் இல்ல 1 கோடி தரேன் அப்படின்னு என்னுடைய தலைக்கு விலை பேசினாங்க. உடனே மன்னிப்பு கேட்க சொன்னாங்க. நான் சொன்ன மன்னிப்பு கேட்க முடியாது, நீங்க யார வேணா போய் பாத்துக்கோ, எந்த கோர்ட்டுக்கு வேணா போ, எந்த வழக்கையும் சந்திக்க நான் தயார், நான் பேசினதுல எந்த தப்பும் கிடையாது அப்படின்னு.
Okay, let's switch straight across to a mega exclusive here on India Today. Maria Shakil in conversation with the Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister, D.K. Shivakumar. Listen.
Hello everyone and welcome to the special conversation. D.K. Shivakumar is Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka and Bengaluru's in charge minister. He has only now announced what he calls the greatest urban governance reform in Bengaluru's history. This will essentially involve the bifurcation of BBMP into smaller corporations. What is the rationale behind this move? Let me go straight to Bengaluru, where D.K. Shivakumar joins us live. Mr. Shivakumar, will this bifurcation require legislative changes? And what hurdles do you anticipate in getting this approved, sir?
See, already this corporation has come into existence. Already the law has been imposed. This was been placed in the assembly. I have already formed a joint selection committee of the houses, both the houses. It was been discussed. His committee was being formed, 15 meetings were being conducted. Ultimately, with lot of objections, lot of suggestions, the matter has been passed in the assembly. It was been sent to the governor. His Excellency Governor of Karnataka has already accepted it. And now with all the bifurcation and making the area whichever has to be in a acute manner, ultimately we have notified, and from yesterday they have started functioning. It has been divided into 5 corporations. This GBA has been formed. Upper to the corporation, there is an authority called the GBA. So the Greater Bangalore Authority. So that authority is for the better governance, effective delivery of the services, and the GBA is going to coordinate with all the other departments, and the mega projects will be done by the Greater Bangalore Authority. Sir, this is one as you have seen in Tokyo and other important cities. This is also there. This is not only the first city which has been doing, but as far as India is concerned, we have taken a very strong decision. You know, even in London, even in New York, and all this type of administration is been going on. See, we have seen that the 74th amendment, which was being given by Rajuji, has not been effected. And the entire corporations will have more effective. A new leadership also will be growing there. Almost in Bangalore city, we had about 198 wards. Now more or less about 500 wards will be created, and new leadership will grow in Bangalore.
Okay, let's get to the brass tacks now, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar. How will municipal revenues such as property tax, infrastructure cess and state grants be distributed among the new corporations?
See, I fully agree on this point. We are not touching the 74th Amendment. Though there are some areas, the very richer area, some area will be the less revenue area. But still, according to the population, we have divided it. If there is a richer area also, we will not take out the revenue from there and give to the area which has not been financially sound. There, the government of Karnataka will help those areas and we will allow them to function independently. This is a major thing. Number two, as far the taxes collection is concerned, on the same similar pattern we have divided, and the area has been, boundaries has been marked. They will work effectively and see that all the common man citizens can approach directly to the new corporations in their area which has been notified, and there will be more accuracy and accountability will be there on this issue.
In terms of the new corporations, will they have their own mayor and administrative staff? And how will coordination be ensured between them?
Of course, there will be a new mayor and the mayor term will be about 2.5 years. New elections will be conducted by the Election Commission, State Election Commission. The process is on, the delimitation is on, and we'll give them autonomy as what is there in the 74th Amendment. The government will not involve in that, but only as far as the GBA is concerned, for the major projects, the GBA has been done for the effective delivery of the services to the people of Bangalore.
So, how will this reform then ensure that those zones which were historically neglected receive the same level of services as central Bengaluru?
See, I'm telling you, there are three important issues. One is as far as the document and property owners of Bangalore. We have come out with a new policy that everyone will be given e-Khata with their photo, with the identification of the building, with all the details and everything. They have to pay the tax correctly. Anyone who owns the property can look at their property, whether the property lies with them or not. It is purely computerized and scanning of the document has been done, and it is done in a very transparent way as far as number one is concerned. Number two, while they have to pay the taxes to that, no one can cheat the government, or we don't want to take any extra from them. Whatever the area is there, there is a thumb rule in that. I think they will have to pay the taxes to the corporation. The major issue is that on the urban planning issue, now the GBA will have the authority on the planning of Bangalore, because as you know, this is a very important city in all over the world is looking at Bangalore, and we wanted to see that very effective governance is being given here, and this 74th Amendment is implemented in a very disciplined manner.
Some may view this as consolidating political influence in certain zones. Then how do you assure citizens that this is purely a governance reform, not political?
No, I'm not looking at politics. Politics is next. We want the people of Karnataka, the people of Bangalore to be very important. See, almost 25% of the population stays in Bangalore, and about almost 10 to 12% of the people every day come to Bangalore. This is the strength of Bangalore, and people from all over the world are coming here. You know that the IT sector is being boomed here. About more than 25 lakhs of IT professionals working. In California, about 13 lakhs are working. 1.3 million is working. Here, 2.5 million are working. So we want to see that this city will give a better service in all levels. And everyone who works on all the techies, and everyone would like to own a property, they would like to own a flat, they wanted to be their own. This one. So we are working out.
Mr. D.K. Shivakumar, if successful in Bengaluru, do you see this model being replicated in other large cities of Karnataka like Mysuru or Mangaluru?
Bangalore is not a city. The entire country will look at it. It may be a different part of the country. I don't want to know about their cities, but big cities will have to take this type of model. This has been worked out, and I think I'm getting calls from all over the country. Different administrators are coming out and telling about this is a great model which Karnataka has looked at, and even which is already there in the international arena. This model is there. I think it will help. As far as Karnataka is concerned, this is one of the biggest city which we can try on this model.
All right, DK Shivakumar, thank you so much for your time and thank you for sharing details of what you are seeing as the biggest urban governance reform in Bengaluru.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
The Yamuna levels continue to rise, and that doesn't spell good news ever, because we've seen what happened in 2023. I was there on ground in parts of the Red Fort, Old Delhi, where water had entered. And so across parts of Delhi, it was essentially almost like an island of what managed to really stay dry through the Yamuna flowing into the national capital. Are we going to see a similar situation today in 2025? Right now, there are parts along the Yamuna which are encroachments, let's face it, all completely underwater right now. Hopefully, we don't see the water now entering into parts of Delhi. But with the water level continuing to go up, the latest bulletin suggests that it's definitely risen in the last few hours. There is very much a possibility that tomorrow morning we'll wake up to the same scenes that we did in 2023 of water flowing through the streets of Delhi, even in iconic locations like the Red Fort. Let me get you an update from ground zero, from the national capital, from Delhi. What's the situation currently? Piyush Mishra is joining us live from Akshardham. We have Milind Sharma also joining us live. Milind, I'm going to come across to you first. Take us through exactly where you are. You've been out through the day. So are you seeing the water levels going up in the last few hours?
Well, Akshita, definitely there has been a rise in the water levels, especially near the areas of Yamuna, where a lot of people have been evacuated from. But I'm at a very important stretch right now. This happens to be right after the airport road, and this crosses after Dhola Kua. And look at the condition of this major road right now, where there's a bus stop over here that's completely submerged. I'll just ask Ajay to just pan here and show you. Right in front, there's a bus stop here, right next to where I'm standing, and that's also completely submerged in water. People are not even using that particular bus stop because the roads here, they are broken. There are no drains over here in this area, and that's why all the water that has been collected in one particular region in Munirka right now is flowing from here. And this is the condition of roads right now, Akshita. It's not even raining as much today. There was incremental rain, predicted by the IMD. But Delhi remains in the red alert category throughout the day for the last 3 days. And with a little bit of rain as well. This is the condition of roads right now in the national capital, where cars that are crossing from this particular road have to wade through enough water that can lead to damage to your cars as well. And of course, a lot of people have to face problems. As I was showing you the bus stop there, if Ajay would just pan the camera from this side. So there's nobody standing at the bus stop. They have to stand right on the road there to wait for buses to come. But this is, the current condition of the waters that are not receding also in the national capital region.
And where does it recede to? Because, your drains are blocked. The Yamuna is already overflowing. That's the biggest challenge, that if it rains even more, you'll see water levels going up, courtesy the rain, plus the Yamuna continuing to flow into Delhi. And I want to get an update from Piyush Mishra on the Yamuna water levels. He's joining us live from the banks of the Yamuna. I'm sure those areas are completely inundated. The worry now, Piyush, is beyond the banks of the Yamuna. It's the heart of the national capital, and whether that too will get flooded in the next few hours. Piyush, can you hear me? Apologies. We're going to reconnect with Piyush. Give us a few moments there, as Piyush is there close to the Yamuna to get us that live update. We'll cut across to him in just a bit. In the meanwhile, take a look at these ground reports filed by my colleague Sneha Mordani. She's been through the day tracking the situation in some of the worst affected parts where people are being evacuated right now. The Delhi government says, look, we're fully prepared. We will ensure minimum damage to life and property. But what's the situation on the ground? Take a look at this.
This is Delhi's popular monastery market, which has been completely shut down. As you can see, it's filled with water completely. Well, the authorities say that this isn't the fault of the government. This has got more to do with the fact that this monastery market is in fact located on the zone O area, which is an area at the flood bank, which means construction of this market per se is illegal. It's been flagged off several times. It's on the floodplains and it is violative of various norms, various environmental norms, but this market continues to flourish. What is our fault, says the government, because if you are located on the floodplains, then flooding certainly is bound to happen. Historically, the Yamuna's flooding was a seasonal problem. It had a rhythm to it. Destructive, yes, it brought in destruction, but at least there was a seasonal pattern to this. That rhythm has now been disrupted. Thanks to rapid urbanization, our relationship with nature, the manner in which man is destroying nature, the misuse of floodplains, our drainage systems, overpopulation in areas from where the rivers really flow. All of this have really messed around with the seasonal rhythmic disruption of the river. And that's where the problem really has started. To add to it, climate change has worsened things for us over the last few years. This is the same place where I was standing yesterday. Things have changed drastically. To give our viewers an overview of how this area in the Yamuna Bazaar looks at this point in time, completely inundated in water. Someone like me was standing in the water yesterday. The water came up to my knee level, but if I were to do the same today right here in this water, I would drown. And this explains why everybody has abandoned their homes. The residents of the Yamuna Bazaar area are not at home at this point in time. They've been forced to leave their homes. These are proper houses that have been built at the banks of the river. This, of course, is an encroachment which the authorities say should have not been there to begin with. This is the Yamuna Bazaar area, which is in fact one of the worst affected areas in the national capital right now. A team of the NDRF is on standby to see if things get worse and if they need to step in and then help the people living in this area who've anyway been dislocated. Arrangements being made just in case the water then comes to the road. These sacks of sand would help them reduce the impact of the flow of the water. Washrooms have been set up, temporary setups like this for the people living in this area who have been completely displaced. Also, what you can see right now is that these temporary shelters have been set up. The people living here, they live in the Yamuna Bazaar embankment, and right now they are living in these temporary shelters that have been set up. कहाँ के रहने वाले हैं आप? क्या उस तरफ आप नदी के सामने रहते हैं? जी मैम। यहाँ टेंट पे आए हैं, कैसे सुविधा है?
सही है मैम, बढ़िया सुविधा है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है मैम।
ये सरकार की तरफ से बोला जा रहा है कि वहाँ पर लोगों को रहना ही नहीं चाहिए। हमने कई बार बोला है कि वहाँ पर रहे ना। आप क्या कहेंगे इस बारे में कि एंक्रोचमेंट है वो लैंड?
मैम और कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है हमारे पास, इसलिए यहाँ रह रहे हैं और कोई।
अगर आपको सरकार हेल्प करके दे और आपको अगर ऑल्टरनेटिव कोई जगह दे तो आप यहाँ से निकल जाएंगे?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
तो हर साल की कहानी है, पानी ऊपर तक आता है।
हाँ जी हाँ जी हाँ जी।
Okay, this is how people are getting inside their homes right now. Unless you do this, you'll not have an idea about how difficult and scary this is. This is really not funny. Imagine if I were to fall in this water. Well, I've already got a glimpse of how it feels on your feet. It's dirty, it's water from the washrooms, it's got urine, it's got stool, and then to deal with this, to do this, to get inside your homes. This is how people are living in the national capital. It's not just shocking, it's just so sad on how pathetic the situation really is for the people. If you have a rooftop, then you are alive and at least you are dry like these people. Most people living right below here don't even have that luxury. कैसे रह रहे हैं यहाँ पर? मैं तो देख रही हूँ इतना मुश्किल है घर के अंदर आना जाना। पता था आपको ये सारा पानी ऐसे भर जाएगा भैया?
जी, ये तो 2023 में भी ओवरफ्लो कर गया था ये दीवार जो है पूरा। फिर भी यहाँ पे मेन समस्या है बच्चों की है, आगे पीछे जगह नहीं है कहीं टेंट में। अब यहाँ मजबूरी में काटना पड़ रहा है, सामान भी है सारे।
टेंट बहुत सारा भर गया है क्या उस तरफ में?
है ही नहीं, 15-20 है, सैकड़ों। हर घाट में 22 लोग रहते हैं, मेंबर फैमिली रहती है। अब उसमें ये 20-22 टेंट मुश्किल से लगे हैं, 32 घाट हैं, कहाँ से क्या होगा?
सरकार से उम्मीद क्या है ये थोड़ा बताएं कि आप चाहते हैं?
अभी तक तो कुछ नहीं पता है, हमें कुछ नहीं पता कि सरकार क्या कर रही है। अब आगे भगवान जाने, क्योंकि अगले 48 घंटे तक ये इसी में बच्चे बीमार हो रहे हैं। हमारा अभी एक लड़का मेरा है, उसकी तबीयत खराब है, रात से ही लेके गए हैं डॉक्टर को दिखाने
जी। इससे पानी वानी गंदा है इसलिए तबीयत खराब है।
सर्दी खांसी, हाँ, घबराहट, चक्कर, बेचैनी उसको है।
For those residents, they're saying that this is unfortunately normal for them. And many of these buildings you see there, they're encroachments. They're built literally on the Yamuna. And yet authorities do nothing to address these encroachments, and which is why you see these people suffering every year round. I want to bring in Piyush Mishra. He's joining us live from the banks of the Yamuna, which I'm sure is underwater right now. But Piyush, what's the water level at the Yamuna right now? What's the government saying? Are we going to be seeing inundation through central Delhi, through parts of old Delhi come tonight?
Well, Akshita, the government is saying that it is putting all its efforts to ensure that such things do not happen, and the situation like 2023 does not arise once again, and for that all steps are being taken. Right now I'm present at Yamuna Khadar, which is right next to Akshardham, and this entire area, the entire stretch is submerged in water. I would ask my video journalist to show you the visuals as to how these are the temporary shelters where people used to live. Now they have vacated their houses, they have now gone on the roads. There are some tents erected for them, and you can see the pictures of these houses, the temporary houses which they have built here in Yamuna Khadar, and these houses are completely submerged in water. Wherever you will see, you will only find water. The trees are submerged. We can also hear voices of cattle who are stuck inside this water. This entire area is completely inundated in water, and on my right hand side also you can see as to how there are cattle who are struggling to get out of this water, which has now crossed the level of danger level of Yamuna river. And on my left hand side also we can try to show you a 360-degree view of this entire area. You can see everywhere you will only and only find water. So this shows as to how day by day the situation is turning grim, and this is the place from where I am reporting is an under construction flyover, and we have managed to reach here by using some other vehicle, because the four-wheelers were not coming here. But you can see as to this entire stretch which connects Akshardham and Mayur Vihar, and this under construction flyover in very soon will be connecting Barapula. This
so
from
Piyush,
this
these areas that you're showing us where there's water right now, were these roads previously?
Well, Akshita, these were the temporary houses where people used to live. Now they have vacated their houses, and this is the area of Yamuna Khadar, which means the Yamuna river is not very far from here, but because the water is flowing above the danger level, the water has come in all these residential areas where people used to live. So we are showing you the pictures of these houses also who are now completely submerged. People have vacated all these houses, and they are also struggling. They're on the streets, on the main roads, main highways. They are now living in erected tents. The temporary tents have been erected by the government. But this shows as to how the condition is turning bad day by day. Last in 2023, when I had reported from the same area, I had seen as to how the water had come to this level. The trees were completely submerged, but still there is some sort of relief for people that this entire area is not completely submerged. But yes,
I hope, Piyush, I hope that doesn't happen in the coming days. You were there, I remember, in 2023 reporting from the ground, and we saw how quickly the situation changed. We saw how in a matter of hours, when we thought the situation was under control, suddenly all around us there was water, literally like we were living in an island. And I get that sense from your report right now as well when I see water all around. I'm just hoping that those water levels don't go up further, because that will mean supremely bad news for Delhiites. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed that there's no more rainfall. But even if that's not the case, water being released will still pose a big problem, because this is not rainwater that's accumulating. It's the Yamuna literally flowing into Delhi, because it's the same old issue of encroachments that hasn't been addressed. There's no place for the Yamuna to flow. It flows into the city. Piyush, thanks for the moment for joining us with that report. We're going to be in touch with you, Piyush, and all of my colleagues will continue tracking the situation very closely and getting you constant live updates on the situation in the national capital. Like I said, we're hoping that it's not a repeat of 2023. That's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. Thanks very much for tuning in. On the